The scream tore out of her before the pain even reached her mind, because the world had already decided she was supposed to die there, nameless and unseen, with the smell of blood and ash filling her lungs. Her name was Illyra, and she had never mattered to anyone. She lay at the edge of the burned valley where the mountains broke, open like cracked teeth, her thin body pressed into cold stone. Her hands were shaking, not from fear alone, but from hunger that had lived in her bones for years. She had been weak since birth, small where others grew strong, slow where others ran. In the village, they called her cursed. In the city, they didn't call her anything at all. Illyra had learned early that silence was safer than hope. The soldiers came at dawn, their armor loud and bright, banners snapping in the wind. They were hunting the dragon, the last one, the one the kings feared more than rebellion, the one they blamed for failed crops, broken alliances, and the slow rot of the world. Anyone caught near its territory was considered a traitor. Illyra had nowhere else to go. She watched from behind a split boulder as steel met fire in the distance. The sky burned red, then black. The sound that followed was not a roar, but a scream filled with pain and rage and something heartbreakingly alive. When the soldiers finally retreated, cheering and bleeding and dragging their dead, the valley fell silent. That silence pulled her forward. She found the dragon where the land dipped into shadow, its massive body twisted against the stone. One wing was torn, the membrane shredded like cloth. Blackened blood steamed where arrows still jutted from its scales. Its chest rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths. Illyra should have run. Instead, she stepped closer. Every story she had ever heard said dragons were monsters, that they devoured children, burned cities, crushed hope beneath their claws. But this one lay broken and alone, eyes half-lidded, breath trembling like a dying animal. It saw her. One golden eye opened fully, sharp and ancient, and fixed on her small figure. Power rolled off it in waves, heavy enough to crush her. She fell to her knees. The air knocked from her lungs. Do it. A voice echoed inside her skull, deep and tired and furious. Finish what they started. Tears burned her eyes. I don't want to. The dragon's eye flickered with surprise. She didn't understand why she spoke next, only that the words pushed themselves out of her chest. I know what it's like, when everyone decides you're better off dead. She crawled closer, ignoring the pain in her scraped hands. The heat from the dragon's body warmed her numb fingers. The world felt like it was holding its breath. When she reached out, her hand hovering inches from its scale, the dragon growled low, warning and weak. She touched it anyway, the moment her skin met its blood-warm scale. The valley froze. The wind stopped. Ash hung motionless in the air. Illyra's heart hammered so loud she thought it would shatter the silence. Power surged through her, not violent, but aching and vast, filled with sorrow, older than kingdoms. She saw memories that weren't hers, dragons bound by ancient pacts, betrayed by kings who wanted power without consequence, cursed so their deaths would fuel human magic, hunted until only one remained. The dragon screamed, and she screamed with it. Soldiers returned before the echo faded. Steel flashed. Arrows flew. Illyra threw herself over the dragon's wounded side without thinking. An arrow buried itself in her shoulder. Pain exploded white-hot, but she didn't move. Get away from it, a captain shouted. That beast will kill you. The dragon's eye widened. Foolish human. She clenched her teeth. I'm already dead to them. The soldiers hesitated, confused by the sight of a fragile girl shielding the monster they had been ordered to destroy. The captain sneered, then die with it. He raised his sword. The dragon gathered what little strength it had left. Fire sparked weakly between its teeth. It would burn them all, and her with them. Illyra pressed her bloodied hand harder against its scale. Don't. The dragon stilled. They'll never stop, it said inside her mind. They will hunt me, Until the world is ash. Then let them see something else, she whispered. Let them see us. The captain charged. Time shattered. Power surged from the place where Alira's hand touched the dragon, pouring through her veins like lightning wrapped in warmth. The ground cracked. Light erupted. Not fire, but something deeper, something alive. The soldiers were thrown back as if struck by a storm. The captain fell to his knees, sword clattering from numb fingers. What? What are you? Alira stood, shaking but unbroken, light flickering along her skin. Someone who chose. The dragon rose behind her with a roar that shook the mountains, not of rage, but of awakening. Its wounds knit slowly, painfully, fueled by the bond they had formed. Archers fled. Horses screamed. The soldiers ran, fear finally stronger than orders. When silence returned, Alira collapsed. She woke days later, beneath a sky she didn't recognize, resting against the dragon's massive chest. Her shoulder burned, but the wound was closed, marked by faint glowing lines. You should be dead, the dragon said quietly. So should you, she replied. It huffed something like a laugh. They traveled together after that, hunted and whispered about in every kingdom. Humans called her the Dragon Witch, the betrayer, the end of kings. None of them knew how often she cried at night, afraid she would fail the only being who had ever seen her as more than nothing. The dragon taught her its true name, and with it, the truth of the curse. One of them would have to die to break it. When soldiers finally cornered them at the broken citadel, Alira knew what she had to do. She stepped forward alone, raising her hands. Take me, she said. Leave the dragon. The dragon roared in fury and pain. No, the king smiled. Gladly. As the blade fell, the bond flared brighter than ever. Alira felt herself fading, but instead of darkness, she felt wings around her, fire and sky and an unbreakable promise. The curse shattered when the light faded. The soldiers fled once more, where Alira had fallen. A new form stirred, human and dragon entwined, reborn not as weapon or sacrifice, but as choice made flesh. The dragon bowed its head. The world would remember the day a girl touched a dragon, but Alira would remember something far simpler. For the first time, she had been chosen back.